Hello, guys. I hope you're well. Um, Welcome to the very first presentation here on the audit committees. This presentation is about the introduction of the main presenter, that is myself, Kholehlatla Buzane. Well, I'm excited as you are for being part of this session, and I'm hopeful that you will enjoy the session as much as I do. Thank you so much for attending, and I'm hoping that we'll start and finish this journey of building progressive audit, small municipality audit committee members. Well, let's get to it then. Of course, I've already mentioned that my name is Kholehlatla Buzane. I'm a chartered accountant. Um, I'm also a master tax practitioner. I'm an independent reviewer, and I'm a registered tax practitioner with SARS. And of course, I'm the member of the Institute of Directors of South Africa. I'm a chartered accountant. I've been doing general accounting for some time now, and I've got a very good audit exposure. I trained as a chartered accountant at Nkonki Incorporation, a firm that used to stay in Johannesburg in Sunning Hill, Simba Road. I miss those days. uh, Auditing, I miss those days. So some of the clients that I looked at were included insurance, the insurance portfolio, telecommunications, telecom. I audited telecom, investment industries like Funani and Fua, and public sector clients like PIC and the Financial Services Board. And of course, I'm a very adaptable person, and I've got a good interest in accounting education. Well, in terms of my education, I know now that it's important that one should mention if he or she doesn't have the matric certificate. I do have a matric certificate. I matriculated in Kwanobuhle, Tinaga, Kariega. I think it's called Kariega now, in Port Elizabeth, in 2004. Then between that time and 2008, I did my BCom accounting at Walter Sisulu University. We started here when the institution was still called University of Transkei. Then when the merger took off, we were there, we experienced the merger, and we saw when the merger started and how it unfolded. It was in 2008. Then I went to UNISA to do a postgraduate diploma in accounting in 2011. Then I went to do the certificate of theory in accounting with University of South Africa in 2014. This is the certificate of theory that leads you to write the ITC. And as much as I had an experience of a merger, a transition from University of Transkei to Walter Sisulu University, I also experienced a transition when the QE1 stopped and the ITC stopped. So we're part of that group where things were really getting into action there. So we then after passing my CTA, I went to do postgraduate diploma in taxation with University of South Africa. It was a very interesting course. It was a coursework course, and I really enjoyed it. I also have a Bachelor of Commerce in Law, where I'm looking particularly on how law really affects accounting. And because I'm specializing in taxation, it was important for me to have a law course because I felt like it was important for me to understand some of the law concept for me to accurately bring good tax opinions. In the same year, 2020, I also graduated for a master's degree in accounting, measuring in taxation, where I was looking on whether South Africa was ready or not to introduce carbon tax. So my specialty there is on indirect taxes. All right. Okay, so then that takes care of that. Of course, you will be interested to know to say, okay, the guy who's going to facilitate this training, what competencies does he have? Okay, of course, as a chartered accountant, and of course, as a presenter of a course of this highest standard, you will be required to have a good listening skills and abilities, and to be observant of the situations that are happening in front of you, so that you can pick up if there's any learning that needs to come in. Of course, you need to be interpersonal, and because I'm not working alone here, okay, I'm gonna be working with you even outside this video when we're doing tutorials on this topic of municipal audit committees. Then someone like me needs to be cooperative and sociable. In other words, it must be easily to reach me, insightful, and I think we'll see some of these characteristics as we go on with our presentation. Leadership abilities there, to be courageous, critical thinking. Courageous, I think I should say something there that knowing that there is no course in South Africa that CPDs, the audit committee, we thought that we need to take courage, to make a first step and to be recognized as one of those people who started the journey of CPDing the audit committees, looking at the immense amount of responsibility that is sitting on the shoulders of the audit committees for municipalities. Critical thinker, you will see as we go on with the course that how I apply my mind and how I think critically about things, and how I impose certain questions and some of the critical abilities that you will experience with me. Of course, there's no way you can continue with a project like this if you're not curious enough, if you're not competent in the area of expertise you claim to be holding. Of course, you need to be knowledgeable. And I think we must realize that knowledge on its own is a continuous process. It's a building block. It's something that continues, and that's what we're trying to implement even here on the membership of the within the audit committees. Conflict management, of course, there's going to be a lot of issues that we're going to bring in as we continue with this program, and of course, all of us will evaluate ourselves on the expertise of conflict management, and on how competent we are. Yes, we might make some of the mistakes, but whatever mistakes that we're making, we should be able to learn from those. Passionate, yes, you cannot be courageous without being passionate, and of course, you must be dedicated. I know that I'm joining a group of very dedicated professionals who want to make things work, and I'm happy to be part of you guys there. All right. What are my areas of expertise? Of course, I'm also involved in the maintenance of book for small businesses. I've been involved in the preparation of financial statements for big entities, big or small, medium. I'm well equipped to deal with that, and of course, I've got very strong knowledge of costing, accounting there, and of course, issues relating to assets. When it comes to auditing, of course, I've already mentioned that I have been trained as an auditor, although I did not write the PPE exams. I ended up writing the APC. I think I wasn't the first group of people who wrote the APC, so it was hard. Anything that is started for the first time, and you realize that, look, we're in it, and Saika then realized that we're right group to start this program, and we felt it like nobody's business. Okay, the under auditing, apart from my life as training towards chartered accountants, I have a privilege of having served in these organizations. So at Great Kai Municipality, this is an institution that is situated in the Eastern Cape, between Bashe and Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality. It's called Great Kai Municipality. Then there I was an audit committee member. This I must say that this is the very first municipality where I went in as an audit committee member, and I really had a good time there. I really learned a lot from the guys that were there. And that's where I picked up my municipality audit committee expertise. All right. So then I went to Elundini. Elundini is sitting at the Joe Gabi district municipality. Then there, where I met a number of guys there also. At Great Kai, I was the only chartered accountant, and Sim was an advocate, and Mr. Baza was the chairperson of the audit committee. Yes, Sim was an advocate, very passionate about corporate governance, and she specialized on performance management, a chapter that will deal with it as we continue. Then I joined King Sabata Dalinyebo Municipality, local municipality, which is a big local municipality around here with a very good access of people. It accommodates quite a number of towns around it. There I was also a member of audit committee. Then I was appointed as the chairperson of the audit committee, and also I was appointed as a chairperson of disciplinary board, the position that I held for 8 months, and I resigned. And unfortunately, the mayor did not accept my resignation because of how much he valued the level of work that I was putting in that municipality. So I went back as the chairperson of the disciplinary board, a structure that is almost new in the public sector. I think government also is still trying to see how best they can go along with this structure. So I find myself having in that struggle of being one of the first in dealing with that one. Then I went to Mhlonhlo, local municipality, where I dealt with what you call there I was an audit performance committee member, and just last year I was appointed as a risk chairperson, a risk management committee chairperson. Another committee that we'll talk about, its intricacies and so forth. It's a very nice committee. Then I was at Lovedale. Then there is a division there that deals with incubation. Then I was the member of the Safari Advisory Committee, and I was the member of the Audit Committee. Then at Nelson Mandela Museum, I'm a council member. Nelson Mandela Museum is situated in the Eastern Cape, in Mthatha, where our head offices are, SPPSA head offices are. Then there I'm a council member. I'm also an audit committee member, and I'm also the chairperson of finance and investment committee. A committee that works very well and with a lot of challenging engagement, because we'll remember that Nelson Mandela carries the legacy of the former statesman, and we are dealing with finances around building that legacy, and maintaining that legacy. Then I went to Buffalo City, where I was an audit committee member, and a finance committee member. But because I was co-opted here at Buffalo City at the time, was they had a number of issues that they wanted to solve in their institution, so I could not make it to the council. All right, then I went to Saki Sizwe, where I'm still an audit committee member and a member of the DC board, which is nice because it's always nice to be a chairperson in one entity, then you become a member in one entity, because it gives you a chance really to learn from other chairpersons as well, and for other people to learn from you as well, and therefore sharing skills there. Of course, I'm the council member also in the South African Council for Architectural Profession. I'm the member of the audit committee. There, I'm also a member of Finance and Remuneration Committee, and I'm also a member of Social and Ethics Committee, which almost sums up this nice gel of expertise that I'll be sharing with you, because I realize that this amount of expertise, I must really find some time to share with other people. Although I must be honest with you that at the time when I started as an audit committee member at Great Kai, really I wasn't too sure where this is leading me. But now I'm realizing that this was planned, that at this time I should be talking to you about my journey in governance. All right. So these are other books that my wife and I have written that I used for small businesses. So we don't have a book as yet for audit committees, so we're busy with that one. So we have the following volumes completed: the author's note, the understanding of the business and its environment. These are books that are mainly used for small businesses. The Desired Knowledge, Volume 6, the Consultation Engagement, Volume 9, the Small Business Plans and Profile, Volumes 19, the Small Business Policies and Procedures, Volume 28. The books that are still in progress are Tax Affairs of Married Couples. Of course, I'm married, and about audit and here on volume 3 we are teaching small businesses about what they should expect in the audit profession and what the term auditor means. So when they are audited, what they should expect. And here we are, remember King 3 said that institutions must produce adequate accounting records, but it doesn't spell out really what these accounting records are. So in here, we are trying to explain what accounting records one of these small businesses should keep. Then technical advice, volume 10 is used for board courses for financial records clerk and small business legal aspects. It's when we teach small businesses about law relating to business, because these guys would normally commit a lot of mistakes, and only in court where they are penalized punitively. And we are trying to, and courts don't play. They penalize fiercely on people who do not obey the law. So what we're trying to do here in volume 5, in volume 11, we're trying to make them understand the consequences of their actions, so that at least if they continue to transgress, when they get to the court of law, they more or less understand the repercussions of their actions. Then we have got volume 11, which is the small business valuation techniques. It should be volume 17. Here we've realized that there is no structure in South Africa that is responsible for valuing small businesses. So if someone wants to sell his business, uh, chances are that person would not know how much that business is worth. So that is the other work that we are doing on the side there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me. Thank you so much. And now I'm gonna go and proceed to the program that we're gonna deal with as the audit committee of the municipalities. Okay, the name of the course: municipality audit and performance committees, CPD teaching and facilitation schedule. So this is the schedule that we'll be following when we are dealing with our municipality audit committees. Of course, there's gonna be introduction, chapter 0, where we more or less introduce you to the program, about what the program is all about, what you should expect, what you should entail. So of course, so when we get to chapter 0, we'll pull up a program for chapter 0. Okay, we're gonna deal with the constitutional law of the republic to find out exactly what does this constitution talk about audit committees, or does it talk about municipalities at all? Perhaps I'm not hoping that the constitution will talk about audit committees, but my first point of thought there is that the constitution will have something to say about the municipalities. Then once we pick up from the constitution, because the constitution is sitting on top, then underneath the constitution, we should be able to find some relevant laws there. So in there, we're going to talk about the municipality fiscal powers and functions. We talk about the Municipal Structures Act and the Municipal Systems Act. Perhaps I should mention in this video that it was really difficult to line up the acts. As you can see that we will be dealing with chapter 2.1 up until chapter 2.18, which shows you that really this environment, because municipality falls within the local government environment, and it shows you the number of acts that we have picked up, that this is a highly regulated environment, and this is the type of information that we want our audit committee members to have, because when our audit committee members get into these municipalities, we envisage them really making an impact. Then we deal with the Municipal Systems Act, we deal with municipal property rates, we deal with the revision, the division of revenue, we deal with procurement, we deal with the public administration, we deal with intergovernment fiscal relations, we deal with intergovernment relations framework and regulations, and we deal with spatial planning and land use management act, and we deal with the Municipal Finance Management Act, the so-called MFMA. Then we deal with the Municipal Finance Management Regulations. Then we deal with municipal demarcations. In other words, where does one municipality move? So this municipality moves from this point to that point, and we'll see what the law says. Especially, you will remember that at some point there were people, especially in the Eastern Cape, between Mzimkulu and Kokstad, and Mount Elif, the Matatiel as well, and other parts of Eastern Cape, where they wanted to be moved from one province to another province. So the situation has always been between Eastern Cape and KwaZulu Natal. So the Demarcations Act is going to help us there to deal with some of the things, because when you are in the municipality, what we're trying to understand is that you must be fully aware when you get there, because once you are there and you are fully aware, it helps you to ask right questions, and it makes you to be a valuable member, because you're going to be paid at the municipality, and at the end of the meeting, the municipality must feel very good about you, to say we've really employed a good person. So after having registered with us, of course, we're going to help you to keep up your CPD intact. Of course, we're going to deal with the Municipality Electoral Act, and we're going to deal with the white paper on local governance, and we're going to deal with disaster management. You would have noticed that there has been a lot of this between KwaZulu-Natal, Port Elizabeth, Cape Town. Then I want to invite you to think at what point we would want to include the Companies Act and the King 3 report. So it's quite a very regulated situation, and it tells you what type of an audit committee member would want to see there, and to bring value in that municipality. Hence this program. Then in chapter 3, we'll deal with the council itself. Then we'll deal with the committees of the council. In the committees of the council, we'll deal with the MPAC, which is the Municipal Public Accounts Committee. We will deal with the misconduct, financial misconduct, and disciplinary committee. We'll deal with the audit committee. This one that we are dealing with is part of the committees. But we thought that let us deal, because all these committees fit into the audit committee, or the audit committee would normally fit to MPAC, the Municipality Public Accounts Committee. Then we'll deal with the Risk Management Committee, and we will deal with the ICT Steering Committee. I hope I've also mentioned that we will deal also with the Financial Misconduct Committee as well. Then that sums up chapter 3. You can see from there that chapter 3 on its own has got 5 chapters, and chapter 2 on its own has got 18 chapters, and it really tells you that this program has been well thought, has been well designed, and is impactful, to make sure that it's giving you the value that you need. Then once we have dealt with the acts, the constitution in chapter 3, and the constitution in chapter 1, the crucial laws in chapter 2, the committees themselves in chapter 3, the committees of the council and the council, or the council and the committees. Then we get now, because we will understand now what forms up a municipality, what laws regulate the municipality, what regulations are there, and what circulars are there. Then we get now to talk about we get inside the municipality for us to talk about now the organogram, to say who's sitting on top, who's the director, and all those things. How many directors you would likely to find, and of course we'll deal with a lot of those when we're dealing with the tutorials. Then we get in immediately in chapter 5, we deal with the administration, that is the role of the municipality manager and his responsibility. So when you go to a municipality, let's see a municipal manager and the directors, what are you likely to expect there? Because remember, the the municipality manager, and his administrator have got, and I mean his directors or head directors have got a standing invite on the audit committee. Hence, we need to get into them and understand exactly what their role is. Then once we understand the organogram, we understand the municipal manager and his administration, we get to chapter 6, where we will understand the municipality calendar, to say what is likely to happen in every month of the municipality, and who is doing what and for what purposes. So we'll touch base to say, for instance, on the committees, we'll be tracking particularly the activities affecting committees that are listed in chapter 3. Then, of course, once we understand the accounting period of the municipality, we get to midterm activities. In other words, because the municipality has got a year end that runs from June to July, from July to June. What happens when the year starts in June? What will happen after 6 months? What are the activities that we are likely to get on a 6 months after the lapse of 6 months? Then we will have a road show where we'll be dealing with the financial statement of a municipality, just for us to look at what is contained in the financial statements, and we try then to bring that information at a municipality level. What are the processes that should be in place in making that information, processing that information, such that it goes to the audit committee, it goes to the council, and it goes out to the public and to the national treasury, and so forth. But we cannot do that without understanding perfectly the finance department. So in the when we're dealing with the organograms, in chapter, let me see, in chapter 4, of course we'll be dealing with finance. But what we have done in chapter 9, we picked up critical departments that are coming regularly in the audit committee, that is the supply chain and the performance management, legal, when we're dealing with litigations, and ICT, of course, also the financial disciplinary board comes in as well. Risk management will come in, and ICT will come in. So those are important chapters that we'll be dealing with, so that by the end of an audit committee, you understand what is required from those guys. Of course, another important segment in our presentation is that of internal audit. What is the role of an internal audit in the organization? What is the role of the internal audit between the organization and the audit committee? And what is the role of the internal audit between itself and the performance management? And what is the role of the internal audit within the audit committee function? and so forth. So we'll be talking more about those to say, because remember, internal audit will be producing some documents as well in the audit committee, and we want to understand how are these documents formulated, how are these documents started, how do these documents come to the audit committee, and what processes are followed in producing this document, and how do we know which document must come to the audit committee, and what is an overriding document that then produces the rest of other documents. What are the qualifications of the internal audit? What is the structure of the internal audit, and what type of reports? What is it what that they can do, and so forth. So we'll be looking at that. It's a very nice course, I'm telling you. Then we come to COGTA. We will deal with COGTA because there's some of the acts that we have already spoken about on top would have mentioned a COGTA as well. Then we'll talk about the role of the provincial treasury in the municipality. And we would have talked a lot about national treasury as well here on chapter 9, I suppose, as well. And when we're dealing with the financial misconduct disciplinary board there, of course, we will be talking about national treasury to say what is the assistance of national treasury. Why do we see people from national treasury honoring the audit committee meetings? Then we're gonna look also on auditor general, to say what is the role of auditor general in the municipality, and what are the relationships between auditor general and the internal audit. What is the role of the auditor general with the municipality? What is the role of auditor general with the audit committee? I'm sure by now you can see that there is really a room for us to talk about the King report there. Of course, once we've finished all these chapters up until chapter 13, we are now able to design a committee, an audit committee agenda. Because before you go to an audit committee meeting, now we have to deal with the agenda. Then what are the what then I'm sure when we're dealing with the audit committee here, we'll be dealing with the advert, the municipality resolution appointing audit committee members, dismissal of audit committee members, qualifications of audit committee members, getting members, internal audit committee members inducted, and 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 them understanding one another to say you are the chairperson, you are the deputy chairperson. Okay, my expertise, I'm a chartered accountant. You are dealing with performance management. Of course, I've got an interest in internal audit because I've been practicing as an internal audit for some time, and so forth. So we would have dealt with those ones when we come to chapter 14. So we're going to come up with an agenda. We're going to discuss our agenda to say, here is our agenda that has been sent to us as member of the audit committee, which has been sent by the chief audit executive of a municipality, because the chief audit executive of a municipality is the secretary of the audit committee. Now, once we have received the audit agenda and the date of the meeting has been confirmed, we deal with the circumstances now going to the audit committee. What is happening, what is playing out. Wow, it's a very nice, you will see the scenarios there that we are bringing for you to think about these things, and some of them have got costing implications, and what I always say when you employ a chartered accountant really is first to think that are you ready to employ a chartered accountant, because chartered accountants have got this nice way of attaching scenarios to costs. And what I've picked up from my experience is that although chartered accountants is a nice to have thing, but most of the organizations are not ready to employ chartered accountants because of how their ability to think and to solve issues. Then what is going to happen in the audit committee meeting? So the aim here is that those who have not been appointed as audit committee members. We are trying to sign a number of MOUs with a number of municipalities, and so that our members are allowed to go and sit on the gallery and observe without talking how the proceedings of an audit committee are continuing. We bring this on the spirit of the Constitution, because the Constitution is a transparent document, and it encourages transparency in the local government or in all other spheres of the republic, where people could come and sit. If you can do that in the council, I don't see why it cannot happen in the audit committee. So we're getting into those number of municipalities across the country to say they must allow our members, so that by the time you get appointed, at least you are familiar with the circumstances that are happening in the audit committee meeting. Now, then we go to what happens after the audit committee meeting. Then we deal with the evaluation of senior management, which is also a function that is aligned with audit committee. Then the reporting to the council, what is reported to the council, and the tools of assessment. Now, the audit committee is responsible to assess normally finance, internal audit, and performance, and give a feedback that normally goes to the council for recommendation and approval. And in chapter 22, really we deal with items surrounding the audit committee, which don't have a specific place to stay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm hopeful that you will enjoy the program. I'm excited as you are. I know you've been waiting for a similar project, and now it has arrived. Remember, if you've got a small business as an audit committee member, you can also register in our website as a small business practitioner. Ladies and gentlemen, with those few words, I would like to thank you for the time that we spent together in trying to unpack this nice and packed program that is meant to CPD, the Municipality Audit Committee members. Now, in my next chapter, I will be dealing with the introduction of the program. This was just a layout. So, chapter 0 now is going to start to set the scene. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. See you in our next presentation.